Okay, welcome, Teal House Farm. As usual, we're here, and we are outside with Patty the Baddie. Say hi, Pat. And the girls are going to come out and join us in a minute. The little ones are still napping. The big ones are finishing up some stuff, and then I think they're going to come out. It's a warmish day. It's like just under 60 degrees, so this is the perfect day to get some big work done in what's going to be our new garden. We are turning this area, dun dun dun, into a no-till bed. And I also hope to build 2 raised beds to go outside of it. So this is quite a big garden overhaul. That greenhouse that is not covered right now is going to be kind of in the center of our no-till bed that we're creating. That white fence right now is where the garden currently is and has been for 7 years. It is just not a good place for a garden. We put it there because that fence was already there. We needed the fence to protect it. But we're tired of fighting with just awful soil and humongous just land. What are you doing, Pat? And just these humongous, like, I can't even think of the word. The big rocks they use to build, like, the foundation, like our basement, the big cellar rocks. They're so big, some of them, I can't move them when we find them. And we still find them after 7 years of tilling that bed. We are excited to go no-till. It's considered better for the environment. You know, opinions are always changing, but the general idea is if you aren't tilling it up, you aren't killing the worms, and that's great. Better for the little ecosystem you want in your garden. I do not want you to feel guilty or bad if you prefer your whatever type garden you do to this type. I believe that there is not really one better type. It's what works best for you and gets food on the table for your family. So you keep doing you, but I'm going to show you how we're going to do this in case you've been thinking about doing it yourself. I also want to let you know my rule of thumb here for tackling giant projects. We've already been kind of working on this project if you've been following around, a little off and on, getting the land, just getting junk out of here. There's just stuff here, no digging or anything. But my rule of thumb for tackling really big projects, because there's always big projects on the farm, is to set a timer. I have booked out 3 hours of today, okay? It's a nice day, no reason the kids can't play outside. Sam is home too today, so if there should be some extra parenting needed, he is available to help, though he is studying, but I know if there was an emergency or a very needy child, he could help. But I'm going to set a timer, and whatever I can get done in the next 3 hours is what we're going to do. And I'm not going to be disappointed that it's not all the way done, and I'm not going to get frustrated if I don't get to certain goals, because I'm not setting specific goals. I am just working towards the final goal today. If I set a specific goal, like, oh, I'm going to get all the cardboard down today. Stuff happens, you find issues that need solved that you weren't ready to solve, and then you get frustrated. So it's just a time goal. 3 hours, as much as we can get done, and I'm going to be proud of myself no matter how much or how little that ends up being. So let's go ahead. We're still not quite ready to put that cardboard down. That is kind of the next step, but we still need to do just a little bit more clearing out. There's still some residual T-posts, random pots and stuff. We're gonna take care of that first. Let's go. Okay, first step, I just want to clear up this little grove area that hasn't been mowed over in a long time. And of course, little man can never keep his hands off the camera, so he sees his opportunity and tries to run, but mommy always catches him. And the temptation is still there, but let's try again. I'm just trying to hack these down. I thought that they might be from our crabapple tree because we hadn't been mowing over here, but the more I got to cutting, the more I realized that this is some sort of plant that had some sort of like rhizome root system, and it was pretty big in there. And so I decided that maybe these clippers aren't going to take care of the problem. I really want the problem gone. So we're going to transition here and go find a shovel and try to dig up the big root clumps here. And they are, wow, they're in there. This was a challenge. I had thought this would take me 10 minutes, and we're going on near an hour here getting these out. But I have started, and I'm going to finish, even if this is all I do today. The shovel did a pretty good job, but I realized that root was so far down, I just don't think I can get it myself. So I get it as far as I can, and then I'm going to go and get the axe, and I'm going to just chop it and hope that it's deep enough down that it doesn't grow back. I discover it does not cut well with the axe at all, so we're going to switch over and get the hatchet so I can get really close and just chop, chop, chop. And finally, after what felt like a million hours, I'm able to pull it out of the ground. Okay, now we can go back to our original goals here after a quick water break with Mr. P. and back outside we go. We need to clear just the junk that's left. Most of it I've already put away, but just got some random things. I'm going to go ahead and clear any large brush that's grown around the greenhouse because it hadn't been trimmed around this year, so some things have just grown up around it. We're going to pull it out and move it. We're not digging any root systems up here. We want to leave the ground as intact as possible, but we do want to pull up things that are going to prevent the cardboard from laying on the ground nice and flat. I did find, to my surprise, a bed of strawberries hiding under all this that somehow managed to survive, not only being covered with a chicken coop, but all the chickens pooping on them and then all the mulch on top. So I cleared them away. I don't know how they'll do this year, but I figure there's no reason to remove them. This is going to be a garden area anyway. Now for the far side of the greenhouse, this was supposed to be a cottage garden and it did not work out the way I had intended, which was disappointing because I worked super hard. But there is a nice stone path to our compost piles, so I try to clear that out. I remove all the T-posts. Micah comes in and helps me cut down any just tall plants that are still in there to be in the way of the cardboard, and I remove any rocks that are in there just to get it ready to lay cardboard down. Okay, we got 1 hour left.
Mom,
I'm going to start laying down some of the cardboard we saved on the grassy patches. So right here doesn't need cardboard because it was underneath a coop, and so the grass is already dead. So no reason to put down cardboard. We're just going to put the compost and stuff right on top of that. But we're going to extend the garden a little bit behind the greenhouse. We're going to cardboard that. And over where Mikey's still working, we're going to cardboard that too. It was supposed to be a cottage flower garden that did not work. So we had to stop. Yeah, Micah did. Last year when we were digging this, she got hit in the face with a shovel handle. She did it to herself, and it broke her tooth. So we had to stop and go to the emergency dentist. But really good, it does. You can't tell now. They gave her a fake tooth. But we're going to do that with cardboard as well. To make sure I don't get like the cardboard all down but not weighted down, like run out of time, because still, you know, like I gotta make dinner and stuff. I don't want dinner to be super late, so I'm gonna do it in small patches, cardboard, and then just enough stuff on top of it, manure, like the decomposed manure from the goat shit on top of it, to weigh it down so it doesn't blow away tonight. And then we can come back the next time, work on the garden, and add just keep adding to it. So we're going to want it 2 inches deep with the composted manure, which is quite a bit. We're not gonna be able to do that much today, but we're gonna get just enough down and on top that doesn't blow away, and we can come back and finish later. Cardboard, it's pretty simple. We're just gonna lay it down over anywhere that there's grass. We're gonna make sure we overlap it so there isn't gaps, but we are gonna make sure we cut all the boxes open so we can cover the most area with the least amount of cardboard. We are just trying to smother the grass, so it only needs to go anywhere there's currently grass going, which is great. So we don't have to cover quite the whole area because we already have an area that's nice and clear. We get little man a shovel to keep him busy, and then he actually ends up accidentally locking himself in the greenhouse, and so that let us get a few minutes of work done without him stealing the camera. Okay, sorry, my phone died, so you missed a little bit there at the end, but I'll show you what happened. It is now 5 minutes till 3, so we are cleaning up so that we are done at 3 o'clock. The little girls are already digging. Try to keep the dirt inside the garden though, okay? Because it's special and it has to stay with its dirt friends.
Why? Mom, I found a plant!
You did? No way! You found a stick?
Behind you.
Yep. Let me see. Oh, it's a mini little stick.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so there's our cardboard addition.
It's like a bee.
Okay. A worm? No way. Sure, that's fine. There's a little bit of cardboard addition, and we overlapped it to really help with that weed barrier. And that's broken down goat bedding from their stall. That's weighing it down. Obviously, there needs to be a ton more, but that's what I could get done today. And this cardboard is going to go all the way behind the greenhouse. We still have quite a ways to go. But it feels good. Did 3 hours of work. I wanted to do it this way, so we'll be coming back to you with more work, getting this all done. First planting is like mid-March for us. Okay, JJ, pick a new spot. So I still have a solid like 8 weeks to get this done. Actually, technically more than that, because my first planting, my first planting will just be like lettuces and spinach, and it's going to be a small percentage of the garden, so I have even longer than that. So it feels good to be moving towards the right direction, but I wanted to show it to you this way because I feel like a lot of channels just do the big time lapses, which are really cool to watch the project from start to finish. Thanks, JJ. But I really like, it does not show the actuality of how long it takes to set something like this up. I think after this, starting year, each year, it will be very simple to get the garden ready for the next year, and it'll be quicker than tilling. I love it. But the first year is no joke. Like, we've probably put in, I'd say a solid like 6 to 7 hours so far to this point, and we are just now starting to put down the base layer to make the no-till garden. I think by the time we are completely done, it will have taken me about 25 man-hours. And I do want to remind you that we are doing this all by hand. I do not have any large equipment. I have a shovel and I have a wheelbarrow, and I got my legs and my hands. So if you have older helpers, I love it, namely bigger than this. And if you have any large equipment to help you move larger quantities of the material at one time, it's going to make it, oh, thank you. It's going to make it so much faster. But it is absolutely possible to do it without any large equipment and just, your brute strength and endurance, but it's going to take a long time, as we're seeing here. So we will keep you guys posted. A little bit every day will get the job done, right? And we stay focused on just the dedicated hours and not necessarily on finishing individual tasks each day, because that makes it feel too overwhelming with all the kids, but I can dedicate blocked off time. So thanks so much for watching. We will see you guys next time.